Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies. Hello.
Hello, good morning,
YK in the building.
Yo, 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 yo.
Good to have you. I love
Good morning. Yeah,
yes,
you love what?
The natural tone color. I love this.
Okay,
Is this called cotton brown or what is
Cream.
this?
Beige.
Beige.
Earth
Beautiful.
colors,
It's
actually.
beautiful.
Really nice.
And we have Veronica here with us today.
Veronica.
Good to have you. Nima is stuck in Lagos traffic. We talk
Ew.
about this traffic every single day.
Every
so this is why she's not here, but Veronica has helped us out. She's, thank you,
Oh,
graciously
well.
helped us to
Good to
take
be
up that
here, though.
spot. So let me start with YK. What's happening this
Yeah,
weekend?
you know, Nima being in traffic, I really wanted to address it because I was watching the news the other day when the Minister for Information went to Semeboda. And I was watching and then I suddenly noticed that, oh, it was the helicopter. Because when I heard that they went there, I was like, wow, how did they get there? They would have seen the traffic. Then I now saw a helicopter. I say, Abajo.
Yeah, imagine
because
that.
they will not go beside that traffic.
Story of our country.
I know the Commissioner of Health went to Badagry, Lagos State Commissioner, and he went by road, and it took him about 10 hours.
Wow.
You felt it.
He felt it. He felt the pain. And he touched him. We had a thing the next day. He came late because he says he got home at 3 a.m.
You will need to sleep for 3 days safe to recover.
So when you are going by helicopter,
and
you
that's what
cannot
most Lagosians
cannot know
go
what
through
is
every day.
pinching
Yes. If you
us.
can survive Lagos, you can survive
Anywhere.
in the world.
Anywhere.
I don't understand how we even manage this country. Veronica, this is our
This is
country.
our country.
I'm telling you. How you doing, Veronica?
I'm good. So much on my plate. We're looking at Saturday TVC games. And so, yes, we've been pushing that, yes.
So what are you doing in the games?
I am one of the organizers. So we are pushing everybody.
Look at you. No wonder how convenient.
Are you playing any game?
How
No,
convenient.
no, as an organizer, I cannot be part of the game. No, now it's against the rules of the game.
Excuse me, I just need to say that I feel very disenfranchised because
Really?
Yeah,
How?
because are you not? People don't take me as a TVC person because I don't know about this.
No, okay, I'm telling you now.
Imagine
You can be
that.
part of it.
Imagine that. They didn't
It's
tell
not
us.
late, it's just
Even me,
Saturday.
it was free I heard.
Can you
I
imagine?
didn't know why nobody told us anything.
Okay,
It's
I'm
like
telling you
nine
guys
hours.
now. I'm
It's all
telling you
good.
ladies now.
Well, I can't make it because I'm in school anyway on weekends. So, but I heard about. I'm rooting for TVC staff. I know that they are doing so much. There's a tug
yes.
of war. I
Your
heard.
view is not inside.
Yeah, not
No, I'm informing you ladies now.
Mikey, we take that fight to Polari upstairs. Don't worry.
I shot myself on the foot.
Yes, you did. Anyway, how you doing up here, Chulu?
I'm great.
Is this Japanese or what exactly is this?
I don't
Right?
understand though. I sure know it's kimono.
Kimono.
Take it like
and
that.
it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so
Good.
much. So I'm having a hangout tomorrow, BC and Brains Book Club. So I want to host them. We are closing for the year. We have been reading a lot, you know. We need to close for the year with a party. We're going to be having a hangout tomorrow. Me and my brainers.
So what does that
And,
mean? Like people who
we-
are part
we-
of your group?
Okay, so we read books, at
Okay.
least a book a month.
Oh,
That gives
right.
us like 12 books in a year. Just a way of, you know, personal development. Make sure
Right.
that you're not
Nice.
letting your brain sleep.
Right,
You're
right.
always reading and updating
So many of you are in this
yourself.
group?
We're about 50-something. Yeah, but everybody is not in Lagos. So I'm
Right.
hosting those ones in
Lagos,
Lagos. Yeah.
alright.
By the grace of God, we'll have chapters.
In
all
your
over.
house?
No. We'll go somewhere private.
Yeah.
And just have a good time tomorrow.
Very
So
nice.
that's what I'll be
All
doing this
the
weekend.
happening.
On Sunday I start my
Hey!
I am going to Paris.
This is a champagne drinking from December 1.
God.
He told us that she took a break and helped her to do it. So December 1 to
There is a
31st,
Paris.
champagne is starting.
train?
I'm telling
In fact, I'm rooting for you. Just go and get the right type.
for
Christmas.
Okay, just for the Christmas. Nice.
For the Paris, you know, December is full of Paris. I have Paris
Yeah.
on Sunday. I have
to-
Paris
so you
on
need to
Tuesday.
get into
I have
the
Paris on
streets.
Wednesday.
Okay, so please, for those of you that invited YK to your party, just make sure there's champagne.
Yes, so that's
Once
all
there's
she
champagne,
drinks.
Very
she's good to
importantly.
go.
That's all
Yeah,
she drinks.
fantastic. That's good. I actually, I'm part of the, I actually hosted an event yesterday. It was
Okay.
really nice. The deputy governor was there and he made reference to our show.
Oh.
When you and your sisters are talking.
Hi.
And that the government is not doing enough. Well, in my mind, I'm like, I just covered my say, yeah, right.
But it's good that they are listening.
Yes, I'm
they are
happy that they
listening.
listen and it's
And
important
I hope they
that
make
we get
But
But there's something in the papers about them today, so...
Good news, Lagos State,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm happy that that's the minimum wage. We'll talk about that. Let's go on a break. When we come back, We'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start with The Nation. Smart card reader has lost its usefulness, says INEC. Knocks for hate speech bill as activists march on Senate. Belema Oil to build mother and child hospital in Buhari's community. Makinde raises panel on Lautech. Varsity payroll enrollments will curb graft, says Unilorin. And government set to unveil oil block owners. Okay, let's start with this smart card reader. I think it was INEC was having this meeting at the, let me see, they were talking to, I think they're talking to the judiciary and politicians, and they were blaming the politicians, actually, saying that, let me quote them, they said the smart card reader has lost its efficacy. The smart card reader has lost its vibrancy in relation to the electoral process because the political elite has found a way around it. So according to them, these smart card readers cannot be used in the court, and the court doesn't accept it as evidence anymore. And obviously, it's time for us to begin to demand for electoral voting. If we really want proper elections in this country, Electoral Act must be amended and allow us to have electoral voting. If not, these smart card readers are just going to be useless.
Can I just ask you a simple question? What happened to the billions they used to do the
card reader? Yeah.
And he was saying this because he was being...
Are they going to refund it to Nigeria?
Well, we saw the smart card now. They bought it already, so we know they bought it.
But they should go and sell it if they can't use it now.
One of the points I was making was they were asking that why can't they cancel the Kogi and Bayelsa elections? He now said they're not empowered. The Electoral Act doesn't empower them to cancel. They can actually postpone the elections. Yeah. So
that's why they've been calling for the electoral reforms.
They don't have to cancel it. They can say it's not null and void. Yeah, they can do that.
But it takes another round of expenses to have another election. We'll just go round and round and round.
We should go with fake election.
I don't think we even need election. I wanted to quickly take the hate speech. Okay. So there was a protest yesterday at the National Assembly. Civil society members and the public are saying that they don't want this hate speech bill to go on, but the lawmakers are saying that they can't stand them down. It's already past the second reading, but they're saying that there will be an opportunity. They're going to have a public hearing where people can say what they want about it. And if the citizens say they do not want the hate speech bill, they will find a way
in a related story. Former military
IBB
spoke about the same man that annulled June 12 elections. The same man that denied Nigerians freedom of expression has said that they cannot muzzle Nigerians for this hate speech bill.
Yeah. It's a shocking reaction.
I'm thinking, wow. The irony of life.
Growing up.
In fact, what's even more painful was NUJ went to him to seek for his support against this bill. I'm thinking NUJ will go to IBB. I don't understand that connection. Is it that we forget easily or what?
No, it's just that we have short memories in Nigeria.
I don't understand.
We have short memories. If something happens, all it just takes is for the different things to happen, and then you forget, and then you move on.
A whole NUJ went to IBB to ask him for support against the hate speech bill.
But if he gives the support, there's no problem in that. He probably would have seen that this is democracy.
He denied us freedom of speech when Nigerians voted
at the time
for the 3 years and fairest elections in Nigeria.
Nigerians have forgiven him, perhaps. And we've moved on. So they want to get his support.
I missed the memo. I do apologize.
Perhaps.
Okay, I missed the memo. Let's move on to the Punch. FG says lecturers enrolling despite ASU's opposition. Very interesting article. $1 million scam. Board suspends Kirikiri prison boss, 8 others. Imo police sergeant commits suicide over delayed promotion. We've detained cops who abducted fashion designer, says command. Lagos begins minimum wage payment this month. EFCC wants to seize my Ilorin home, says Saraki. Makinde inaugurates 5-man panel on Lautech ownership. No border reopening until Benin. Others respect protocol, says federal government. Again, IMF warns Nigeria against rising debts. Okay, let's start with the major headline. So now, after ASU had made all the hula baloo that they are not going to register with this IPPIS, that all their members are going to resist it. Well, according to this report, many of the lecturers have actually registered.
Egbe.
41 out of the 43
So
universities.
the federal government is saying that they employed people, not unions. Like if you want to collect your salary, you better go and register.
Better register.
So why ASU is shouting, don't register? People are doing
They want to get their money.
Want to get their money.
So I really do not know why they are
But there
fighting
is
for
another
this.
report where they are insisting that they are not part of this IPPIS. So there are varying reports on both on
so
this.
the union are saying I'm not part of it, but their members are going to gradually go and
Because they want their money.
register. Okay, let's take
And then the designer,
Yes. Frankie, tell us about that story.
he was stopped at a checkpoint, and then they forced him into the car. Then they made him transfer 185,000 to them. And, well, the police say that they've arrested the 5 policemen involved.
And he returned his money.
And they returned
And I'm so happy. He went straight to the CP's office to report, and they took it up immediately. And I'm so happy that it seems that CP in Lagos is working,
They are
because
working,
they got him back within 24 hours.
Wow.
They arrested those guys,
Wow.
and they got him back his money.
refunded his
I'm
money.
so happy about that.
Nice.
The other story.
$1 million?
Yeah, so this particular guy, Olusegun Aroke, is an inmate in the Kirikiri prisons, and he's supposed to be serving for 24 years. But while in the prison, he was still able to carry out a scam of $1 million US. So investigations have revealed that the people, the controller of the prisons, the medical doctor in charge, and some other guys have been aiding him. So he goes out. As a matter of fact, when I read this on Instablog, he actually goes out to throw parties from the prison.
Yeah,
So 3 of them have been suspended.
Right.
Another 6 arrested, and investigations are ongoing. I hope that they don't, find a way to cover up this. We need to see prosecution
But the
for.
reporter had done an investigation earlier this year and had shown the corruption
Yes,
that
within
was going on
the
within the
correctional
prisons.
services. Yes, yes.
And so this just lent credence to
Totally,
what
totally,
that
very
report-
correct, very correct. And I'm happy his preliminary findings have got them to
Yes.
suspend.
Yeah.
Hopefully, after they've concluded the investigation, they will actually totally dismiss these officers.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
And prosecute them.
Hopefully. This is Nigeria. Daily Sun, we can continue to hope. Hate speech, nobody can muzzle Nigeria, says IBB. I already took that story. Insecurity, South governors team up on community policing. Odua, Igbo, Miyetti, Allah, others unite on conflict prevention. We've not dropped corruption charges against Diezani, ex-bank chief, others, says EFCC, and will resist Gruga anywhere in Igbo land, says IPOB. South, who has that story?
Yes, I have the story. So the 6 governors of the South geopolitical zones declared support for community policing. They had a meeting in Asaba, Delta State, and they wrote out in their communique how they are going to get the vigilantes, train them formally so that they can assist the police as well. And they also, admonished parents and caregivers to ensure that the morals of the society is upheld in the families, because it's the lack of morals that makes all these, we have all of these crimes that are committed over and over. So it's something
Okay,
they're working on.
let's move on to Vanguard. Short borders. Uproar in ECOWAS parliament. I don't know who has that story. Crackdown on journalists, activists affecting Nigeria's image. Protesters besiege National Assembly, demand end to social media bill. Big brother Niger, I want my old life back, says Mercy. Nigeria businesses need disruptive tech to survive. And why we couldn't cancel results of Kogi Bayelsa Governorship. We talked about that already.
So let me just quickly touch on the uproar and the ECOWAS
Yes.
Parliament. Now, there was an ordinary session of the ECOWAS meeting yesterday in Abuja, and, there were calls. The countries belonging to the ECOWAS were calling for Nigeria to open its borders. But then Nigeria, the representative of Nigeria, was insisting that these countries, especially Benin and Niger, are not doing the needful. That they are still bringing in illicit products that is not recognized in the protocol into the country.
Right.
And that is what the issue
Right.
is.
And worse still, I'm going to call you Ada, imagine how. Worse still, Veronica, is the fact that one of the issues they have is that they get foreign rice into
Yes.
their country, repackage it, and bring
send
it.
to us, yeah.
That's why Vietnam quickly came to us. No, we'll come directly.
We have our
And we say
rights.
we don't want.
We have
so
rights.
that was a major problem for Nigerians.
So that has been an issue, because you would recall that former President Olusegun Obasanjo also made a statement backing the border closure, saying that this step, he has actually had this issue with the former president of Niger during his tenure.
Right.
And so this issue, Niger has to take a step to address it.
They have to
I'm happy that Nigeria is standing their ground on this. Then U.S. lawmakers, Congress, have told Nigeria that they should please, that this crackdown on journalists and activists is affecting their own image. The fact that they're referring to Showore and others that have been locked up, saying that they must allow freedom of speech and express and leave that civic space to Nigerians to express themselves. And this is something that we've been calling for, and I hope that now that US is adding their voice to this, we can see some difference in the country. Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Reps probe 812 MDA's secret accounts with banks. Lagos okays payments of 35,000 naira minimum wage from November 1st. IPPI's Unilori enrolls as ASU insists on not joining. 2 village heads, 3 others killed as gunmen attack Taraba and others. Hate speech bill, Nigeria moving towards dictatorship. My Ilori home, built with lawful pension and personal funds, says Saraki. U.S. lawmakers condemn detention of Sochore. And Ebonyi governors appoint additional 513 aides. Wow, I didn't read that story. 513 aides. Okay. Let's talk about Lagos State's minimum wage. Why can you have that story?
Yeah, the Lagos State have decided to implement, I think they're starting from this month or next
November, yeah.
And they're going to pay 35,000. They're even paying above the mandated minimum wage.
Wow.
And they're imploring their staff to, the civil servants to please do your work well. Don't say because we are going to pay this, it doesn't mean that we don't need you to do your work. We actually need you to do your work properly. So I think that
it's a good one. They also apologize because
good.
There's a little delay in the salary payment. So they are saying they want to
Are they
be
going
able
to pay the
sort it
backlog
out.
of
Yes,
arrears?
they will do that. Sort it out so that they can pay the 35,000 naira they've promised their people. It's a good thing.
And I don't know if that story is on the front page. They have pardoned, they have honored the chaplain that was...
It wasn't on the front page.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but go ahead. Please tell us what happened.
The chaplain...
The one that Ambode sacked.
Governor Somolu has honored him. And...
That's pretty much it.
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
They've just honored him. So I think it's a good thing.
They made that comparison that, okay, he was sacked 2.5 years ago. The community, the church had to come together to give him, I think, amenities. They got him a flat to stay in. Then at that time. But now, this government is honoring him. I don't know if the government has given him back his position or given back his.
I don't know if they've given him back his position. But
He was just honored.
Yes, he's been honored.
Okay, let's just read the front pages of The Guardian. FG Auditor's Office, National Assembly in fresh breach of fiscal rules. FEC okays 19 billion naira for Abuja or York Kano roads. Lagos government increases salaries of workers on level 7 to 15. And this day, very quickly, PSC writes IG over a violation of policy in CP's appointment. Obasanjo backs border closure, like Veronica said. FG restates terms for reopening. Fortunately, that's all we can take on front page review. When we return, it's Thursday. All we're doing today is just gisting about life issues. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So it's Thursday, we're gisting all the way. So our first topic today is about comparison. With the fact that people compare their spouses or their partners with others. And a lot of women find that it's a way to get their spouse or their partner to change, to be different from who they are. Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts and even our viewers' thoughts on the usefulness or the demerits. No, we're taking both sides. The usefulness or the demerits of comparing your partner or spouse. So let me start with you, since you seem to already have a position on this.
I don't see anything useful when you compare people, when you compare your partner to another person's partner. Because the truth is, you married your partner, you got into that relationship because the person was unique. The person had his or...
Oh, I forgot to introduce our guest. Oh, goodness, imagine. I'm so sorry. Joining us on this conversation is a classical and operatic singer, they say. Our own very Abiodun Koya in the building.
Welcome.
She's been on our show for a few times. She's been on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes.
You're like a family now. You know,
yes.
so you're joining our conversation. How have you been?
I've been well. How have you ladies been? You look
Thank
lovely.
you.
I love your outfits, by the way. So I'm going with this and with that. And that curls, the long curls. Yeah, Mardi Gras. I love that.
How are you doing, though?
I'm well.
To be in and out of the country, or you're still in Nigeria?
I just got in.
Oh,
Yes,
so how is it to be abroad? cold or
Hustling.
Don't do this. Everybody wants to go there.
the hustling is real.
If you want to go there, make sure you have your papers and you have money. You know, because it's not like here that if you don't have job, you can just squat with someone. They'll kick you out. You sleep on the streets. Yes, it's very tough. So have your job, have your papers that would allow you to work. That's the advice I give people.
Yeah, fantastic. Good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
So we'll come to you in a minute, but let me start with Auntie concerning this issue.
Yes,
of,
I was trying to say that you picked somebody and said yes to the person because the person had the characteristics you saw and liked. The personality attracted you, and you said, I do.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, because you're under certain kind of pressure, you now start looking at your friend's spouse and saying, are you not seeing this person? I think it brings humiliation to your partner in the first place because people reach their benchmark at different levels. Our successes come at different levels. So what I see as success may not be what you see as success. So if you compare like that, you're going to make somebody feel like maybe I'm not measuring up.
But parents
I'm not
compare
doing enough.
children. Parents do that comparison. Can't you be like, Jide, can't you see how this person did well in school? And does he have 2 heads? So we do that to our kids all the time. So now when it comes to spouse, we're now saying, oh, you cannot compare. But we do it all the time. So the objective of comparing one child to another child, because you want them to get better. You want them to see somebody else doing well in this certain thing and say, okay, you know what, maybe you can do it. That person doesn't have 2 heads. So the same thing, if we look at it in that light, we're not saying you should always, you must be like XYZ's husband. But hey, somebody's there, returns home at a certain time, doesn't take alcohol like certain people here on this table. You know, there is a, you know, and you just feel like, you know, I want my husband to be like that. It's like,
Are you all right?
May I quickly?
Are you all right?
I'm very all right.
I'm sure you are not all right.
May I quickly, before she jumps
No, I
in?
don't want you to respond.
Okay.
I want somebody else to give you
right.
a point, because you end the show and you respond. Yes, Waike, go ahead, please.
No, I'm in agreement with you because I was just going to say, it's the psychologists have told us it's not good to compare children.
Yes, thank you.
So we, those who do it, stop it, because Abiodun is doing well, or singing, and Obiadulu is not singing.
Again.
They will say, can't you be more like Abiodun? It's what you do is you kill that person's self-esteem.
Confidence, yes.
So once you are killing somebody's self-esteem, that's why there's so many suicides. So I wouldn't compare. I wouldn't even think it. If I don't like it, I go. I find my level.
Thank you.
So you can't.
There are other thoughts on comparisons.
It's definitely not healthy to compare spouses. It's better to sit down and talk with your spouse and say, hey, listen, I admire, in fact, make him or her feel special, reveal their strengths to them first, and then say, you know, in these areas, I'd like for you to improve, I'd like for you to work on it, because when you do certain things or when you don't do certain things, it makes me feel this, that, and that. And if they still don't measure
I still feel I've been hypocritical. Because when we talk, for example, okay, let me leave kids out of this. Millennials, let's move on to the millennials for a second.
Who?
Young people, millennials. We see them doing so many great things. There's some that are not, they're like late bloomers, they're not very active. Others are doing so much. And people say, these young people, you're a young person. Make something out of your life. Be useful. We compare them to others. Like, XYZ is doing like this. Can't you get involved? Because you see some of them are just lazing around. So the point is, I'm not saying that comparison is good, but I'm saying that we do it on so many other levels. But suddenly when it comes to issues of spousing and partners, we now get all defensive. Oh, don't compare anybody.
Look, I would do it with politicians. If one governor is doing,
bless you.
If one governor is doing badly, another governor is doing well, I would say,
thank you for that example.
You can't do it. See, this governor is doing well, and see, this one is just.
So why is it now when it comes to spouses, we're now changing
the governor and the marriage?
husband?
Is that you have agreed to serve me?
Exactly.
As my governor, you are a public servant, so I can compare
that's
you
why I voted
with
for
anybody.
you.
That's why I voted for you. But
and
me and
marriage,
you,
we agree to serve each other.
Okay.
Husband and wife are
Serve.
Yes. We didn't even agree to serve each other. We just agreed to love each other.
To love each other. Is there a difference? Love and serve.
Is the same.
Yeah,
Good question. We'll come to
there's
that.
a
Good
difference.
question. Let me come to
Love is love, serve is serve.
We'll come to that. It's a good question. Let me let you finish. You're done with your
I
point.
said love is love. I mean,
Okay,
I
so
don't.
love and serve, do you think it's different? I think it's different.
I think it's the same.
Okay.
I think it's the same because if I'm going to love you, that means I'm going to care for you. I'm going to somewhat chastise you sometimes. I'm going to help you grow. I'm going to do everything. So it's serving. It has different hats. You're wearing different hats.
So Waike is trying to answer my question by saying that government is different or politicians are different from. I totally disagree. But let me take this call and I'll come to you, Rejulu. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Hello, yeah, I'm
Good
here.
morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Adiola, and I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Actually, I want to talk about this comparison of children and all that. And I think it's good for some reasons. Just like now, somebody is talking about IBB and this current government. I think if we are to compare the two governments, IBB government is still better than this current one that we are in right now. You understand? So let us compare so that they can do better. Thank you.
So this is your comparison. So that's what I'm saying. Let me come to you, Virgil.
So when it comes to marriage, the comparison should be that I want you to be a better version of who you are today. So I want to look at you 5 years, 10 years down the line.
But then it depends on how you deliver that.
Exactly. And you are better than the man I met 5 years back.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it's not that I'm placing you alongside somebody else who has different strengths, different weaknesses. I do not
And
even
different
understand
upbringing.
the person's reality. Because, you know, it's always greener on the other side. Till you go to that side and find out that it's actually the same thing.
the same.
That's
I
what
don't
happened with
know-
the election.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going through.
Everybody criticized Jonathan until we now got the now.
And you're seeing.
I say, hey.
But
You
then
have
the
answered the
difference
question.
between spouses and politicians is that a politician is in the office for 4 years. A spouse is lifetime.
With you forever.
That's another angle.
It's with you forever. So when you go through all those comparisons,
Unless you get a dictator.
because you
Who
are
will stay with you for 30 years.
because
They do it in some African countries.
Mugabe.
Like in some other African countries. I'm like, how come?
so when you start pitching, it's like you are setting up your spouse for failure. Because the thing is, you cannot expect a fish to climb a tree. You will forever call that fish stupid.
With all due
because
respect,
no,
Virgil,
hold on.
let me
now.
let you
Hold
finish.
on,
Go ahead.
hold on. Because we are different. You need to even understand what you're comparing against.
Yes.
Now today we see,
Yes.
this person is so successful, and tomorrow the person has entered fraud. The person was actually defrauding people. Now these are the kind of people you place your husband and compare
Yes,
your
yes,
spouse
yes.
to, and tomorrow you find out that the work they are doing, your husband that is getting the legitimate funds is still slow, but you are rushing him to go into something else.
So is it safe to say that we should not compare, but to encourage? Can we swap the word compare?
Thank you.
What's the
get
other
it?
word? What's the other word we can use?
Okay.
Other than
Okay, so if you don't want to
Motivate.
compare, for example, I hear people. I mean, let's bring it wider. So people compare Kogi governor and Oyo State governor, for example.
Yeah, and this your
those
governor.
are two. I mean, those are two governors.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not seen what Governor Oyo is doing like that is totally significant than the fact that I just see him on ground.
For some
I can't
reason,
say
I like
he has
him,
done
though.
I
like him.
Perception.
For some reason, I like
can't
him.
say this is what he has done. I can't because I don't
Because
live
he's
in
a
that
fine
state.
man.
But the fact that
No,
yes, he's
no,
fine,
but
he
I
has
think it's his
charisma when he
agenda.
speaks. There's something about that he wants to walk.
Guess
you know,
what? I've never even watched him perform, speak or anything.
Right.
It's just pretty much some of his agendas that
Yeah.
I've seen, his intention that has made me say, oh, I really like him. He's one of my favorites.
that's the
let's
point.
work first.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make.
So
that-
he hasn't worked.
So this issue of comparison, one at a
Right,
time.
okay.
This issue of comparison. Now, when you say we should use the word encourage, are we going to try to encourage an ex-governor to do like Governor B? Will continue to tell me, oh, please, this governor, we want you to do this, pay salaries, create, build hospitals. We continue to encourage him. Instead of us telling him that, listen, can't you be like ABC?
No, that is a different. She
That's
already
I think
explained
it's
it. You
different.
have come here to serve. So we need to see you work with the
Yes.
resources that you have. That's a
Public
different
servant.
thing when it comes to your spouse.
It's a public sector and private sector.
Let me even give you an instance. A lot of international
Let me pause
schools,
you for a second. Let me take Ajibola. Ajibola, are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
How are you?
Very well, sir.
God bless you. YK, good morning.
Good morning.
Bless you all. Well with you.
Thank you. Amen.
As for the topic for today, I think comparing is good. But when it comes at the way that you dispense the information to the person you are getting it to, you know, at times we compare when we are in anger.
Yes.
Or when there
is
is any difference. We want to be frank. We push that information in a very way that is not pleasant. By the time the other person gets it, he gets it in a wrong way. At times we don't get the information that is being passed across to us. I think it's good. It's good.
Fantastic.
Between a couple, they want to make themselves better. You understand? When you compare your partner or you ask your partner, okay, that you should look at somebody, Depend on the situation at the time you pass that information across to her or him.
Thank you very much. See, you see, Obiajulu, I don't want us to look at the extremes because we're putting the comparison with the good and the bad with my husband. There are other ways to compare. There are good role models you get.
Yeah.
You can say, my father was this. My father was a man that he wasn't a polygamist or he wasn't. You can actually have your spouse be compared to somebody who you admire.
That's still wrong. That's my point. So I'm not the one to tell you. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to just ask, especially Morayo, if your husband now meets one babe.
I am moderating the conversation. Don't take it personal.
I know you are moderating. I'm not taking it. Your husband now meets one fine babe now. And he says, Morayo,
I wish.
Come, why don't you
Go to the gym.
What's wrong with you? This is your dress. Why are you wearing it like this? Don't you see how Obiajulu dresses? I don't know what is wrong with you. How will you feel?
How will you take it?
Yeah, listen.
You don't.
Listen, let me respond.
I'm not taking it personal.
Totally. Let me respond.
Okay.
Automatically, I know where his interest lies. That's information for me.
Yeah, so what do you do with it?
So yes, the feelings will be, you feel, definitely bad, obviously. But it means that instead of sulking on that, you get that information. I know exactly the kind of things this person has asked for. I'm trying to make adjustments some way.
Okay, so what if...
So instead of me sulking, they've compared me to XYZ. No. I'm using that information and what I can do to make my life better.
What if your body type and your health will not allow you to get to that figure that he wants?
Aside from that,
what do you do?
You're thinking like that because of your education, because of your enlightenment. How about several women who are already bruised from several issues in life? They
Low
would not think-
self-esteem.
Exactly. It's you. It's because it's you. You're confident. You know who you are.
Yeah, you are answered the way you
My husband
answer.
goes to have an affair. Sorry, I had the affair because she was cooking, her food was different to your own in the house. Well, first of all, you will first collect hot slap from me.
Wait, I will follow the person. Let's just go and eat the people together.
Yes,
Let's go. Because even myself, I like
What
food.
if she puts white poison in your food?
You will not go and eat. Don't deceive yourself.
You won't eat it.
You will eat that food. You will lose weight by force. You will be in thinking mode. This is my life on the outside.
This life is not difficult. If you tell me XYZ is food,
she's faced with the situation.
You will know how one is waiting to take your place.
Yes,
so you want to go to eat something. You are going to eat food.
When you are
let's go on a break.
Situation.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So at 9:30, Nima got in the building. Welcome, Nima. Story of our lives. Bele traffic.
They will get a helicopter for you, don't worry.
Amen.
They travel with helicopter.
Amen. The day they launch on our book.
So we're talking about, before you came in, we're talking about this issue of comparison, and I had said that when it comes to marriage and spousing, we now get all defensive, that people compare all the time. You compare your children, you compare millennials, the young people, to compare teenagers, even families compare others to maybe role models. Like, can't you do like Mr. and Mrs. XYZ? They've lived for 50 years together, they listen to each other, those kind of things. So people compare, but the moment it gets to so personal, people start saying, no, you cannot compare me with somebody else. But in your view, do you think comparison in some way works, especially in relationships?
It works if the intention is to encourage.
Right.
So if you see something not working well, because I always say marriage is an establishment, is a working, it has to be, it's a process, it has to work. So if something is not working well and you see a model that has worked somewhere, if you can't reach your partner in arguments, you can't get to that point where you do the comparison. And what is worse is when the person doesn't want to hear and you're doing it in your mind. You're just sitting there and wondering, only God knows when you wake up. But we know.
So we do it in our minds, or we act as if we don't,
Even amongst children, we'll be like, you are only God knows who. But you just might not say it. So it's something that if you get compared, what I have learned over the years is to work on myself. So if I get compared, I take it as a message because my people
That's
say,
what I told them.
So for you to tell me that I have a fault,
language?
that's Esako, that's the Afemai language. Thank you, Michael.
I
just wanted to say it now. You didn't let me
broken
conclude.
English, speech in English.
So if you take matter cost me, you teach me lesson. You tell me a photo of myself, yes.
Imagine.
So,
Before Ike was telling me that, what was that he said me that? Something. I told
let it go.
I'm not letting this go.
no, Mira and YK, they are like that. They will let it go later.
May I say that?
Yes.
Yeah. So, being in the education industry, I realized that most international schools have taken out the positions from their system of running, and it's for a reason. So in those schools, like where I taught, you don't have this one came first, this one came second, this one came third. Yes, because they realize that it affects the children. So most times, those ones who don't come first to third in the classes feel like they are not good enough. Their parents instill it on them that they are not good enough. Are you not seeing James? Are you not seeing John? But when they looked around in the society, the ones who do not even have a bearing in the classrooms are the ones employing those ones with the first class. So they said that there was something definitely that they were doing wrong with the comparisons. So what you do is you are rated based on your performance and you are pushed to perform better. If international schools, now these are people who are creating things for us, can tell you that comparisons do not help anybody. You can only motivate, you can only encourage based on the person's strengths and weaknesses. If there's something my husband is doing that I don't like, I will tell you, I don't need to compare you to Tokpe's husband. You are not doing this one, this is what I want. Don't look at what Tokpe's husband is doing. I don't care, because I don't know what they're going through in that relationship. Everything looks perfect, you know, from the outside. When you get in, I might look like my marriage is so sweet and everything. You don't know what I'm going through in the marriage. So why do I want to bring you to, you know, start comparing yourself to something you are not, you don't even have the whole truth about.
Let me take this call from Olayinka. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you today?
Very well.
This is a very interesting topic. Right now, my marriage is 6 years, and I have such issue at hand right now for the past about 1 month. What I would like to say
Who's
is
comparing who in your marriage?
Rather than comparing your spouse, you can complain on an issue.
Thank you. Pause. Can I pause you for a second? 1 second. Hello. Number one.
Yeah.
When a woman complains, they call it nagging. So now you're telling us to complain.
Complain means there's something being done that you are not pleased with, and you comment on it.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you are nagging. It's been done, you are not pleased,
Olayinka.
and you comment.
Okay, 1 second. Nima wants to throw in a question for you.
Olayinka, if you're the one comparing your wife, for instance, now, the standard you're asking of her, where did you get it?
I don't compare.
No, I'm just saying, okay, if she was comparing you, she's probably got that standard somewhere. Let's assume she didn't mention names. She didn't say, be like Mr. ABC. But she's just keep saying, do this, because she's seen that model somewhere.
Yeah, in that case, it's not a comparison because she's not matching me with something. She made that point.
You're not hearing like a comparison.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's better to complain rather than compare.
Yes.
It makes things worse.
All right.
Thank you.
Point taken.
There are some wives that will compare. They will not even compare you well. They will say, look at you, only round. You didn't see Mr. A. Mr. A is driving Lexus.
He's there.
You are still driving
They are still
driving
and they move on.
Mike, that's the exaggeration.
No.
That's the extremes.
They
exist, but they're the extremes.
They're the extremes.
We're talking about normal
yes,
family
the extremes.
comparisons.
Okay, what about the one that we say, this is my husband, Jerry. Please go and look at Mr. Lagbaja.
YK, you know what's funny?
He's not driving Lexus. So, this is our B2. Don't tire me. Is that not bad enough?
Yes, comparison.
All of this is very foreign to me. I was just sharing this with you. In the US, I want to tell you that women and men don't do that. They don't. I almost want to tell you that because I would never think of comparing my sweetheart to someone else. And then they don't even compare children. They don't compare. Wait, hold on. I'm shy about that. Wait, they don't even compare children. It's absurd. It's unheard of. So is it a cultural thing or what? What is it? Is it in Nigeria? Because it's like, are you serious? Like, really, they do it?
Let me take this call.
Nigerians.
Let me take this call from the UK. Hang in there for a second. Hello, good morning. Are you there? Hello.
Good morning. My name is Shola. I'm calling from the UK.
Go ahead, please. You're live. Go ahead.
I disagree with Miss Koya or Mrs. Koya.
Okay.
Comparing or making comparisons is a natural thing that humans do. It has nothing to do with Nigerians.
Okay.
It is a global, natural thing.
Okay.
However, as humans, we need to be careful. Because a lot of people have gone into trouble when they've been compared. We've seen a lot of yahoo, all sorts of things happening. Sometimes it has come from the family, from parents who have said, so child has bought her a Jeep, has built a house.
That's extreme.
When are you going to do my? And then children get into peer pressure and all sorts of things start to happen. Also, I know that even in Christendom, there are pastors who have been married maybe due to their wife dying or so, and then the new first lady of the church gets compared to the late wife of the pastor. When Pastor so was alive, she did what she did. She didn't dress like this. She didn't dress like that.
Right. So there's always that.
It's a human
thank
thing.
you very much for taking us there, because I think you're totally right. We all compare. But now the question is, how should we interpret comparisons? Should we take them as feedback or become defensive and say, how can you compare me to XYZ?
Telling a partner, for instance, let's do it this way, and he insists it's not that right, that's not the right way, and you've seen it work, you can say, this is the example I have. You're not exactly comparing, because some people just conclude, hey, so you've been looking at them and comparing me. Sometimes people think and
So
you
it's the
look,
delivery.
everything around you is an example that you must learn from. Sometimes in marriage, men do not admit it, they never do. But you continue comparing your spouse to your mother. Whether silent or vocal, people compare people.
Yes.
So we must admit that.
Totally.
And if your intention, whenever you're being compared, is to conclude that, no.
Because if your mother was a submissive child that doesn't talk, and when your wife now says,
you will think your vocal wife is rude.
Yes, you think your vocal wife, and suddenly you think you want your wife to be like a mother.
At 58, I was comparing myself to
You look good, by the way.
At 58, I was comparing myself to Invictus that had billion and billion.
Yes.
And me, I'm still trying to change my car. I see which kind of life.
Which kind of
is this
standard?
now. I didn't know that Invictus was doing.
Allegedly, please. He has not been convicted.
Whether it's alleged or not, they say his freedom is not is questionable right now.
May I quickly say that?
So that is the harm of comparing with. Yes, I can compare Donald Trump and Obama. That is because they are in the public eye.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you, Julia. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. I think we are. I think we are not being realistic. Hello.
Hello, I'm listening.
We can hear you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
He's listening to his TV.
I'll have to cut that line off. You can. Hello, are you there? Yes.
So when the line of communication is opened, it's free. You can always tell your spouse what you want and how you want it. You will see that there is no need for comparisons.
Yes.
I have never compared my husband with anybody because
And your
it's someone
children.
I can directly tell,
Yes.
baby, I don't like what you do. Do you understand?
Babe.
So what's that called?
You call our
That's
husband
What's
baby.
for YK? What's that called?
Effective communication. So
Baby.
if you can communicate, if that line, what's that
There's baby. There's baby. Baby. Go ahead. Well, look at them.
So I was asking you, what's that called? What kind of communication is that? Since it's not comparison, what is that you're doing with
It's
your
more
husband?
of open talking and encouraging. Like, you know, when she gave her first statement and she mentioned that if you say, okay, this model has worked somewhere, baby, can we try this model?
Baby,
You know?
did you hear it again?
Baby, are you listening? Baby, are you listening?
Then you're not comparing, you're just placing the fact that we want you to try this.
Okay. Mikey, what do you call uncle?
Your uncle.
It's new.
What do you call
I've
your
heard that
partner?
before. Very routine.
What do you call your
Am I calling him anything on the show?
Darling.
Am I calling him anything on the show?
I've heard darling.
They call him darling. So what?
I know, but when I'm talking about him on the show, I will say my partner.
I was just talking.
I will not say, I will say darling.
Okay, wants to read this.
The natural way it came out.
Okay, so
Baby. And it's not the first time I've heard her do it.
No, she's in love.
Baby.
Baby. This one's in your face.
Oh, that's amazing.
They don't
It's
judge that.
amazing.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Can we go on with this show now?
I forgot what I wanted to say.
I go love.
She's blushing.
I go
Go love.
In fact,
As in, I was
my
saying-
darling, if you are listening.
What were you saying, by the way?
My own is my darling. My own is my darling. My darling, if you are listening,
Hey.
tomorrow is
Mine is sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
Not sweetheart. Sweetheart.
Which one is your own? Oh, yeah.
My one is Olume.
Hey! Translate it, please.
My beloved.
My one is my prince.
Oh, nice. Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Yes, he's laughing. Good morning, are you there? Hello? I thought you had a call. Okay, let's take a few tweets. YK. Is it there? Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Hello, I'm there, please.
Good morning. Go ahead, please. You're live.
Mariah, I just want to greet you there.
Okay.
And I want to greet Yemi and Neymar.
Good morning.
What I just noticed is that Neymar came late. And I could just get kind of worriedness and tension in our face. You should do something about the traffic over there in Lagos.
No, we pray something happens
To
soon.
be the reason why I'm just calling. I'm not.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much, sir. She talks about the traffic in Lagos every single time. So like we're not be definitely what's the word? Bemoaning this issue. We're still going to make it an issue going forward, but not today. Today we're talking about life issues. So let's take a few tweets, YK.
Yes, Mr. Spectacular. This is the reason why I have neglected my girlfriend for weeks now. We didn't break up, but I just decided to let her be because she can't just be comparing me with her so-called bestie, a guy. It's really so frustrating. Sorry. Whether to a child or a spouse, comparison is good, but all depends on how the spirit you do it. However, it finally boils down to the recipient. If the person is egocentric, wahala deo.
Sheon Oluwole says, I think there's nothing wrong with comparison. It's in corporate world, it's called benchmarking. It helps to identify gaps for improvement. So I was compared as a child because Obiajuru talked about the detrimental part. In fact, some of my relatives will come to the house, they'll forget there's a third child in the family. Because right after me is a son and 2 sisters. And these my 2 sisters were, they were so pretty when we were growing. Long hair, fair skin, I was born dark-skinned. So I get that all the time, and I just developed a thick skin. Fast forward, if you're not addressing me, I'm not talking to you. So you visit the family and you forget there's Nima in the house. I'm not addressing you. I don't you feeling so. I just walk away. So this one didn't greet me. I don't live here. Talk to the people you ask stuff. So it's like that, and I just grew like that.
Yeah, but can I ask?
But it's made me a better person. I took it all.
Yes, but that is because it did not. Can you imagine if it had affected you psychologically?
Mine affected me.
You would have affected your siblings.
Her father
No, my dad was there. My dad was there.
Made her tell her what she should tell her, about how she should define herself.
Exactly, because she was there.
I didn't get that. I had a serious comparison all through my life. I mean, all my brothers left Nigeria when I was like 2 years old. I grew up alone in my house. I only had my half-sisters. So I used to go to their house on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So doing that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to Thursday, I'm in my own house. During that weekend, I was constantly being compared. First of all, because I was so tall. They called me names, the fact that I was just too tall compared to everybody else. And they used to laugh at me. So I got that comparison, and it affected my self-esteem all through. So I became an adult. It took a long time to get out of that. So those comparisons happen. They're negative effects of comparisons. What I'm saying is that we actually do it every day. But suddenly women are getting all defensive because we're doing it for the spouses. That's my hypocrisy I was trying to talk about.
The thing is, the beauty of this show is that we are learning as we are, teaching other people. So you hear every day and you adjust, you get better, you become a better version of yourself. I wasn't this way when I got on the show. I'm becoming very... So, Obiachi, what I like was I wanted to quickly say that there's this thing that women do when they come and they see children, like, this one is finer than this one. It's terrible.
I said I got that a lot.
If you do it to my children, I shush you immediately. I hate that. Because I know that it affects the children. Just the way she grew up. I grew up like that. I was tall, tiny, with my long neck. There's nothing they didn't call me. And I felt very terrible. The first day somebody told me I was beautiful, I nearly fainted. He was like, no, it can't be me. No, it can't be me. So we need to start working on ourselves.
But it's also very important because the features I knew about myself that became my plus that my shakara will start on was told from home. So yes, my dad would say, no, you have short hair, but it's very pretty, and I love your brown eyes. You have. So that was my boyfriend from time. So he wants to toast me. You have to match up. If not match up, please check out. You understand?
Yes. So at what point is comparison healthy? At what situation?
depends on the
When you take it as feedback.
Circumstance.
Take it
No,
as
at what situation? Circumstance.
You have something in mind?
Give an example.
I'm asking, at what point is it healthy?
She's
Because
asking us.
I'm against it, really.
I am
Because
against
she's
it.
against it, so she's asking it.
So it depends on the
she's
circumstance, like
asking.
you said. If the
Then which
circumstance,
one? Which
if the-
circumstance?
let's choose
Which
the children
one that is
example,
healthy?
for instance. The children example would be that maybe one, you know the skills and the ability of that child, but the child is not seeing each or either of their potential. Because presently,
Right.
I notice that my daughter likes to delay before doing things. So this is something she would do well, but she would delay. And I got to school
her
yesterday.
time.
I met her doing everything. I was like, look at you. But we have this conversation at home, and you don't show this side of you. If I make the comparison, you won't like it. Because I'll make the comparison between who she is in school and who she is at home.
That's against
So
yourself.
the comparison was, of course, is to make her be a better
version.
person.
Yeah.
When I take her out
We
to
have to
family
round
house,
up on
she's
this,
a
on this
better
issue of
person.
comparison, but I'd like us to have last word. So I think what you asked was really critical. In what instances is
What
comparison good?
circumstance?
And I think it's once you make it to feedback. Yes, it might be hurtful, and it is hurtful. But the moment you train your children, that whether they like it in life, people would compare them. And they must have that resistance. They must be able to build that word.
Yes.
Identify who they, let them identify who they are.
Yeah.
So when people start comparing them outside,
you know who you
they
are.
know who you are.
Your
and you're able
spouse,
to-
uncle.
Where I think you can
Yes.
do it with children is make them competitive in school. Like, my daughter, when I used to say, what's your, would work, when she came over, we'll do her homework. So that
Compete against
I would
yourself.
Against yourself,
Yes, so that she's going to excel in the next exams,
better.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
not comparing, but competing.
Against yourself. Okay, unfortunately, that's all we can take on this. When we come back, we'll discuss another topic. Can you marry your friend's ex? We'll be our focus. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I want to hear your view on that.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm going to be starting with Biodo on this one. So would you date your friend's ex? Or would you marry somebody who your friend has been with in the past?
I don't think I will, but it depends if there's feelings. And there's this thing called love that you really don't control. You can't control how you feel. So if it's out of love that I really love this guy, then I will go ahead. But if it's like I want to spite my friend.
No, we're not talking about spiting. We're talking about
Okay.
just, this is
Like
pure
genuine love.
Girl code,
there's
sister code.
Yeah, there's this girl code thing. Like, okay,
There's no girl code.
once that you shouldn't, once they're there, you shouldn't.
Betrayals.
Once I've debe, you shouldn't go there.
It depends on the situation too with my friend, how the whole thing ended. with
How
my
did the
friend.
debate happen?
No, it depends. Are they still in love with each other?
No, they've broken up maybe 3-4 years.
Your
they've
friend has
moved on.
remarried or something.
But
Has she remarried?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it could be anything. The point is that
If
she's been there before and she's had feelings for
She's
this
had
person.
him.
She's
Right,
had
let's make it
him.
work.
They've
I
been
will
together.
Your
date
best
him.
friend,
I
your
will.
best closest friend, almost like a sister's ex, would you marry? Because some people say friend is friend, but that friend that you people are everything, I would die for this friend has been, would you even consider that your friend's?
I'm hoping she'll be okay with it, but if she's
Let me come
okay,
to
then
Biagida. I'll let you
better.
think about it for a second. But Biagida, your thoughts on this? Let
Why
come.
me? My thoughts. You know my thoughts. In my head, there is a friendship code. There is a sister code. That's one. So I won't go in that area.
Yeah.
That two, I'm somebody who, by the grace of God, I always have plenty people queuing.
Hey.
So I'm not looking for where somebody that has gone to somewhere close to
love
me
is not what
before.
you're looking
no,
for.
You're forgetting
no,
love.
my love
No,
is
no,
with my
no,
head. Calm
no.
down. Calm down. My love is from my head. I will not, because I have options. I'm not looking for, I'm not
But
desperate.
you're talking
I
about
will
love
not
from
go-
the heart. That love that is.
It
that
will
is-
not.
you
See,
can't
the thing is,
decide.
okay, let me even tell you that the way I'm wired, if you come here as a guy and you say, for instance, you like Nima, and then it doesn't work out. You came here first, you saw all of us, you picked Nima, then it didn't work out. You now remember there's a BC. It can't work out.
Are you not judging this person?
No, it's not about judging.
But isn't
Your
that different?
First, I don't like to play second fiddle.
Okay,
Your
point taken.
first
Point taken.
attraction
Okay.
was
This
somebody
was not
else.
sister code again, second fiddle.
All
Even
of
me,
them
even
join.
me don't like to play third second fiddle. But then,
Let me hear you.
their relationship is different. They are two different things. And I can marry anybody who wants to marry me.
Exactly.
Simple and short.
Yes.
I don't want to know who your ex was.
Even if it's your friend?
Yes, I don't
Or
care.
your sister?
Even my sister's ex.
Ah!
Yes, now.
You know, little, yeah.
Yes, now.
On what basis? Oh,
Yes. I'm saying
okay, tell
it.
me why. Let me.
Because I don't know what's happened. For instance, someone is asking for my sister's hand and she clearly says no. And he's trying her for a few years because I had someone stay on my case for 4 years. So imagine someone said to that person, I can't date you. There's a friend of mine now who's on the bench. While we were in school, everybody thought we were dating. And the first time he found a girl he really liked, he talked to this girl. She said she couldn't date him because of me. I went to knock on her door. Madam, even if we dated, he's not, presently we're not living, we're not married, we're not dating, he's free. And I think you should go ahead and give him a chance. Don't base it on me. If you don't want to date him, tell him, but don't say because he dated me. I don't think all those sentiments are attached to anything.
Let me ask you, do you think at some point that
No,
the
keep
person
person
may
now.
not may have feelings for the other person? You know why I'm giving you this? You know it happened in the Bible now. Jacob, when he wanted Rachel, and then he got Leah. And he decided to serve another 7 years because his mind was set on
you
Rachel.
know marry Leah now. You know got Leah.
It was things beyond his control.
No, he didn't even got Leah.
It doesn't even matter.
He
Do you
didn't
know
want
if
Leah.
he was able to, if he was not deceived, he would have stuck to
Rachel.
The example does not fit because he didn't want Leah. If he wanted Leah and Rachel was now bitter, that's where we're talking. That's what we're talking about.
You because
he
the other one
wanted
said
Rachel,
no.
and then they gave him Leah, and then he now wants Leah. Then Rachel. That's two different things. So what Mora is asking now, that I'll be considering that my friend might get bitter in the future.
Yeah.
And then say,
see, I think
good
the reason why
people
have reservations going that route is because they feel that, okay, yes, if we now become friends and I come to your house, can I trust you with your husband? Because we used to date, the feelings are there. So you come to our house with my ex, who is your husband, and you're in my house.
When I'm with him, what will be the problem?
No, the point is that
would you
be comfortable? Would your friend be comfortable having you around when you're married to her ex?
But we come together now. I go with my husband. Do you understand?
You are there to see everything.
You have to have bottles in your fingers for you to be there. When I am there. When I'm seated there.
No, but okay, so that kind of relationship, then I wouldn't even
blood
go for that. I wouldn't. That one I have to keep a bottle in my finger.
No, I'm just saying.
And the one I have to like, okay, if I'm going to my friend's house, hey,
and they're in
is she
close
going to
proximity.
No, I would not. You first and foremost, you have to find out, have they tidied up that angle? What's the situation?
Of course.
And on top of that, if my friend is not okay with that, I'm not going to go near it.
Okay, so your friend determines what makes you happy?
No. It is about also how she feels. I have to consider how she feels too. What if that makes her to go and commit suicide?
Then she's still in love with
No.
Then she's still in love with the person.
Then she shouldn't have broken up with him.
But people are not mature.
If your feelings are strong
Let me be sure I
enough,
understand
make
you.
it work.
Wait, let me be sure I understand you. I thought maybe you're taking it to a different angle.
No, which angle?
Are you telling me that if you suspect that your friend is still in love with this guy, but she broke up with him and married somebody else, but she still has feelings for this guy, you still marry the guy?
So because of the feeling that she could not
used to date him.
because of the feeling that she could not water the
getting-
plant on, I should not be happy. If the guy comes to me and he is happy with me, and I look at him, this is somebody I can have children for, because maybe love is a long thing. Marriage have happened already. My friend will be all right. She should make what she has.
Okay, I like to
happy.
open our phone lines.
Don't eat your cake and demand it now.
Why, okay, let me hear your thoughts on this, because see your shit.
Okay, it's very, very little.
See what I'm giving that to.
I think, first of all, let's get it right. There is no girl code. I don't believe there is a girl code.
For real?
For real. There is a man code.
Why man?
There is I know that there is a man code.
Okay.
But now, when you say, with best friends, it's different. I wouldn't date my best friend's ex.
When they are
Especially if the way they broke up was
messy.
Exactly. You know, maybe she's still broken-hearted, and I wouldn't go there just because I won't even
Out
look
of
at him.
respect for her, yeah.
I wouldn't look at him. I wouldn't even be attracted to him.
But your boyfriend.
Somebody that Morel went out with, and I now meet him maybe 5 years later, and he now chases me.
Oh no, she now comes. Why can't you know that guy that broke my heart? That guy told you before.
Hey, why did you come and tell me? It's too late. I'm in love. We're in love.
I am shocked. Let me take this call.
Morel, sorry.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good
Thanks
morning.
for calling. Go ahead, please.
Old team. Nima, good morning. How are you doing?
Good man, I'm well.
And white Vicky. Okay, quickly. It's Honadrov.
how can anybody date his friend ex? I mean, it doesn't
What's unheard of there?
There are so many ladies out there now. So why your friend ex?
What do you mean?
Thank you.
You ready?
Quickly before talking about comparison in marriage is unacceptable. It's unacceptable in our society as well. Because marriage is not a competition. It's not as if you are competing. It's not a football match. So why do you need to just make do what you have and ensure that whatever differences that you have, you can sort it out. So why do you have to compare? Because detectives are different. We came from different backgrounds. So there's no need for comparison. It's even unholy as well.
Unholy.
Let me make this clear quickly. I'm not saying snatch your ex-boyfriend. No.
Very clear.
So your girlfriend and their ex are they've exed it, tidied it up, done deal.
Especially if my girlfriend was not interested in that guy in the first place.
I know exactly. Or even I said sisters, we have such cases. He's not interested. The person has moved on.
There should be a
so allow the people their happiness. Don't continue your emotional battle with your friend, saying this guy must not be happy with my friend. I won't even allow my friend use me as a point of punish another friend. I'm not interested.
When we come back, we'll kind of wrap up this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So while we're getting tweets ready, I think I have a caller, Mr. Shengo Lula. Good morning. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, good to have you on the show. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, for me, we always introduce sentiment in so many issues. I am in tune with what Lima is saying.
Thank you, sir.
One, the first thing is the fact that the lady or the man involved is ex, not somebody you are dating currently. So if there is an ex, and another thing that's also involved is love, and if there is genuine love, I don't think we should just belabor this issue. They are out there, and they can get themselves, marry themselves, in as much as they have.
Honorable, I am suspecting you.
And they can also.
I'm suspecting you.
It's also a matter of an ex. It's not a current issue. It's not something that is ongoing. If it's ongoing, then you can say, why will you go and snatch your friends?
I think one of the issues people have is that the fact that if you're still friends, the fact that you're going to continue to see this person who you had feelings for
before
up front, it can actually spur up that love again, and then can cause issues of infidelity. The previous love that you thought, because once they bear, always
that is a mad love. It's different.
My own is the fact that when you say somebody is an ex, you should make that person an ex.
Free the person.
Don't look back to your head.
Can you control feelings?
Move forward.
Can you control feelings?
There shouldn't be any feelings again. People who agree on the issue of ex, you must have accepted the fact that the person, you do not have feelings for the person any longer.
Okay,
so
point
if
taken.
me now have feelings for the fellow, please allow it be.
Okay, point taken. Thank you very much. Tweets, please.
It's different if I have a boyfriend or a husband, then you, Murayo, you come and chase, or he chases you, and the two of you now have affair.
That's snatching.
Myself and Nima will go and beat you. That's the girl.
You snatch or jail come back.
Don't go and
Like
steal.
you will take Nima to go and
Yes,
go and
I will join
Nima.
in the fight. But when Murayo G come,
Ibo number, Ibo number.
take a look at and we'll go and wait for her somewhere. When you come out,
you see, what's the difference between you and those that are beating up people on the streets? This is wrong.
Okay, Murayo, my jail come back. It's legislative.
Let's not encourage violence on the streets.
We're not encouraging
Because
violence.
that's warning you. People listen to you, that's not going to beat people up. Don't beat people up. We must continue to remind ourselves that conversations, having a dialogue, solves our problems.
You abandon the shoe in the dustbin and go and carry it. You say, this shoe is, if not for the color, why did you even take it? It looks, auntie, if you will not eat it, drop it now.
No, let's take a few tweets.
Okay, Oluwasewo Yeniran says, I'm in the middle of it now. My friend's ex and my ex's friend are really into me. Both talking marriage and are ready to take me and my child, but I can't bring myself to it. The mind is deep. My friend won't ever understand me. I don't know for you. Free yourself. Prince Ajibade Isaac said, there's absolutely nothing wrong in dating anyone's ex, even if it's your father's ex. She's like, that one, I did not subscribe. My ex, that one. She's their ex and my own present. What to concern anybody with who I date?
Mr. Spectacular says, are you reading one?
Yeah, no,
okay. Mr. Spectacular says, I actually broke up with this particular girl 3 days after I realized she had once dated my friend, whom we are still friends. The lady was so angry, called me childish. She admitted she dated the guy for about 2 months and nothing intimate happened between them.
Diola says, A and B might not work, but A and C might work. We all have different personalities. So while it might be bad for you, it might be good for your friend. It isn't a sin as far as you are doing good and you are happy.
I agree.
This matter says, I don't have an outright yes or no to this matter of the heart. It will depend on how and why they broke up. And if I'm truly in love with the guy, I can't share the same space with that friend if I know she's still got feelings for the guy. But for me, is you would fall in love with somebody who you give a chance to in the first place. So for the fact that you're an ex around the corner, I will not even give you a chance to fall in love with you. Go ahead.
Jelly says, your friend X is a used tire. It's like buying Tokumbo tire in which you don't know.
Exactly. But really, everybody is a used. Everybody
but you don't know who this is. Do you know who this is?
Of everybody, they're leftover.
I can't but ask about what you're working on before we round up. What are you working on?
So I have a concert coming up, a benefit concert, charity concert. Nice. It's December 8th, and it's to provide income for newly released female inmates, ex-convicts. So we're setting up 30 trades for them so that once they're out of the cell, they can be empowered, you know, so that they don't fall back into that old cycle. At least, no matter how small, 5 naira today, 5 naira tomorrow, something is coming in. Yes.
Quickly, today is Tope Mother's birthday.
Yes, today is
Tope's Mother's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. Can we sing happy birthday?
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Hey, it's not my voice.
No, in your way.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Mr. Oluyemi Odubela is Tope's dad, and today is his birthday. It's important for us to say hello to him. God bless you. Many more healthy years ahead.
Happy birthday.
Okay, on that note, we can wrap up. Any more interesting tweets before we run? Okay.
I'm too enamored with Obiajulu and Biodu.
We should record an album.
Goke, Siva says,
you see that we didn't join them.
Don't mind them. And with Nima all the way, in this case, it is one man's poison, another man's meat. Why can't they be happy simply because he or she is an ex? It is not about being spiteful. I mean,
and Diola says A plus B might not work, but A plus C might work. We all have different personalities. So while he might be bad for you, he might be good for your friend.
Yes.
It isn't a sin as far as you're doing
happy.
Good and happy.
I mean, I think we all agree to some extent with each other. I think, but it's just that when there's issue of intimacy, issue of feelings, that's where it gets really touchy. But when you date somebody a few times, you go to the movies, there's no connection, so your friend can date that kind of person. Yes. But the moment you become intimate and there's love and you've fallen head over heels in love with somebody, oh my Lord, it becomes difficult.
One more, Majid, for the first time, Sister Nima, I so disagree with you. You know that abstinence is difficult in relationships in Nigeria. So if I marry my friend's ex, it means he has seen my wife's nakedness. And to me, that's a blot.
On that note, we will end the show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.